Hello. So there's a story that a boy walks into the store and he asks the owner if he could borrow the phone. So he picks up the phone and he makes a phone call and he says, "Hi, I wanted to know if I could mow your lawn." And the person on the other line says, "No, we have someone who does our lawn. We're not interested." And he says, "No, but you don't understand. I'll do a really great job. I'll pull the weeds. I'll trim the edges. It's going to look beautiful." And the person on the other phone replies, "No, we have someone who does a fabulous job and we're not interested in switching." And he goes on and he keeps trying to convince them to switch to his business, and the homeowners refuse. After the phone call, he hangs up the phone, and the store owner, he says to him, "I heard what happened. I'm so sorry you didn't get the job. It sounds like you really wanted it." And the boy says, "I was just checking in on how I was doing." He really had the job. He just wanted to hear how well he was doing, so that's why he called. And that really, as Rabbi Shmuel Reichman told it, this story relates to Rosh Hashanah. That what are the emotions for the day? I feel like the high holidays can be so awkward sometimes because it's like once a year when everyone really comes to synagogue and you see so many people, but it's also like serious, especially Yom Kippur, but let's start with Rosh Hashanah. It's like serious, but we eat and we don't ignore the seriousness of the day, but it's also like, right, all these prayers and, there's no confession on Rosh Hashanah, but it's intense. We're judged. It's the beginning of the new year. It's putting into place what's going to be for the next 365 days of our lives and what's our trajectory going to be in what direction. And it is a big deal, but like, how do we reconcile that with just everything else going on in the day and everything else we're given that we're meant to be doing, but going to shul and the prayer and the eating, and it really is a joyous day. So another analogy is, let's say you have this is probably not so theoretical. You have a yearly check-in maybe with your company, with your boss, maybe whoever it is for your work, or a yearly check-in, or it could even honestly be with a doctor, or maybe it's a dentist. Maybe you only go once a year. Maybe that doesn't apply here. But let's say you have a yearly check-in and you talk about, how are you doing? How's your year? What do you want to do ahead in the next year? And that could potentially be scary, but if you're the type of person that you really are putting your effort into it and you're working on it and you're doing a good job and you check in along the way, it's not just once a year, "Oh, why did you go in that direction? That doesn't make sense. Why have you been working for the last 8 months on that project that we never agreed upon?" And I think that's such a cool analogy, because if we really go through our year trying to become better, to be our best selves, to find our purpose, to fulfill our potential, to give to the world, and we check in along the way, which I think is like such a cool piece of it, then when we come to Rosh Hashanah, it's like, it's an annual review, but it's not such a scary one. It's more like, yeah, I know I'm doing my job and I'm doing great. And this is like that once a year where we have to sit down and just check it again, look through it more, analyze a little bit, and that's okay. And that's helpful. And that can really be a beautiful, positive experience. So I think that is, with that, we can go into Rosh Hashanah with this idea that it doesn't have to be so scary. And, maybe though I didn't focus on my growth, my self-growth, and my everything I know I should be doing as much as I feel like I should have this past year. Okay, so next year we'll just focus on it more. We'll work harder. Maybe check in more along the way. And may everyone have a beautiful, uplifting, meaningful Rosh Hashanah.